everything is bureaucratic. And if you come from an African country like myself, where things just happen, you just have to buy someone a soda and things will take place. In Germany, we don't have that. Life with Ruzhoff, my lovelies, inspiring you to live an empowered life. Today is a very interesting topic, considering that in the past I've done videos that really talk positively about Germany. And yes, Germany is still a very beautiful country. But there are things that I really hate about Germany, don't like about Germany. And I felt it's only fair that we show both sides of the coin. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Thank you so much for joining us once again. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and welcome to the Ruzhoff family. Today I'm sharing 12 things that I hate about Germany. Germans are well known for their direct style of communication, which I do love myself, because again, I don't do small talk, but I do hate sometimes, on the other hand, because the German language itself is a language that is quite harsh and sounds rude, even when you're not being rude, even when you're being nice and kind. And when it's coupled with too much directness, it comes off very rude and harsh, especially in Bayern. I'll give you an example. You go like to a bakery or a cafe and you're like, hi, good morning. And someone's like, good morning. It's not so typical like in the English speaking countries where someone's like, oh, hi, good morning. How may I help you? No, the Germans are going to be like, yeah, good morning. What can I do for you? Or what do you want? Comes off very rude and harsh, especially if you come from a different background or a different culture, or if you're new in Germany. I'm not new in German, but it still comes off harsh for me and rude. Even when you call like, different service offices, you'll have someone go on the phone and be like, Ruzhoff, how may I help you? You already feel very intimidated, and that's why I always tell you guys to learn the language once you relocate, because it helps a lot. Imagine someone comes off that rough, that direct, and you're not good at the language, then you feel intimidated immediately. Not to mention how formal the German people are, and that goes for private and professional relationships. It really takes a long time for German people to get really close to you, to really take things deeper, so which also makes it very difficult to find friends. If you're new in Germany, you're intending to come to Germany, that's something that you should keep in mind. Like, people are not going to open up very easily to you, which is a bit difficult, especially if you come like from the tropical countries, African countries, where people are very open, very friendly. You might expect the same and then feel disappointed if they don't open up too quickly. So that's something you really have to keep in mind. I don't like it myself. German people are very reserved and quiet in nature when they're not close to you, when they're not really friends with you. So they always seem very distant and unfriendly, and maybe even cold. I think you've seen some videos, like on Instagram, where people refer to German people as very cold. That's to some extent very true. Is that intentional? I don't know really, but they give off that air, and then if they want to like try to be friendly, they always give this fake smile that I've talked about before, that I really hate, and they'll be like, and then disappears in 2 seconds. It doesn't even reach the eyes. So they're very reserved in nature. They're not quick into getting into banter and creating rapport with you. You really have to earn their warmth, for one to put it mildly. And yeah, that's something you really have to deal with if you're a foreigner in Germany. How come no one ever talks about the complicated, sometimes unnecessary bureaucracy? My goodness, the administrative processes in Germany can take forever and ever. They can be time consuming because you have to go through protocol, everyone sticks to the rules. Oh my God, the paperwork, it never ends. No matter which office you go to, even if you're getting a doctor's appointment, everything is bureaucratic. And if you come from an African country like myself, where things just happen, you just have to buy someone a soda and things will take place. In Germany, we don't have that. Everyone is rules adherent, which is amazing. But at the days or moments when you really want things to move quick and you're like, oh, why can't we have the Ugandan style here? Why can't we have the African style here? So that is one thing that is so annoying and irritating about the German system, though on the other hand, it's something very positive on some days. Number 5 are the energy costs. Yes, being that I pay my own bills, I don't have a sugar daddy paying my bills yet. So if you're a sugar daddy out there, you can hit my DM. Jokes aside, bills in Germany. For me, in my case, it's especially the energy cost. We talk about utility bills, heating, electricity. Oh my God. And since the corona time around 2022, they were even like double. So you notice that from your salary, from your finances, you give out lots, chunks of money to the bills, and you're like, am I working for just the bills? That's what most people say. You know, everyone is like, I'm working, but all my money goes away from the bills, not to talk about the taxes. So that is for me also something that I find quite irritating. I know it is a necessary evil, but I find it quite irritating and annoying. My favorite, again, why is it my favorite? Because that's what most of my people complain about, the language difficulty. Many people say the German language is difficult, and I love to say not really, again, because I'm very good with languages. I speak up to around 8 languages, but I also must accept, even after 17 years of living in Germany, my German is still not perfect. I still struggle, especially considering that I'm in a profession where you have to do lots of documentation, where you have to write reports and protocols, and you know, it requires, and I have to use the formal German language, not the everyday German language. So even after 17 years, I still don't have it 100%. It really stresses me out. It takes time when I'm writing reports, because I really have like to think of the phrases and so on and so forth. And even in the speech, the articles that they are this, das, them, this, and then, and oh my God, I could go on and on. The German language is unnecessarily complicated. Like, I'll never ever understand why they had to get a million articles and a million sentence endings and prepositions for what? Just to say pineapple? Like, get real. No, it's really irritating and very annoying, and it frustrates me, especially in my professional field, where sometimes I have to write stuff and I'm like, oh, if this was in English, I'll be done in 2 minutes. So yeah, that is something I really hate about German on some days. Number 8 is the lackluster customer service. I love to complain about that. I've complained about that in Uganda, and now for Germany, it's a different side. You know, they're very efficient, but they're not friendly. They lay great focus on efficiency instead of friendliness. So if you come like from especially the English-speaking countries, the French-speaking countries, you know, where people are like, hi darling, how may I help you today? You know, when you enter a restaurant, the Germans wants to get into a restaurant, someone's going to come, put the menu card on the table. If you're lucky, they'll say hi. If not, they'll just walk away, come back 5 minutes, and they'll be like, are you ready to order? With this kind of face. No smile, nothing, you know? And I'm always like, okay. And for me, being the introvert, it's very difficult also to put on a sweet face. Then I'm also going to look like serious because I'm shocked. And we're both going to end up looking rude without intending it. So it's something that is really tricky to navigate, and you're not sure if someone doesn't like you, if they're rude, or if that's the nature. So yeah, the customer service in Germany is very interesting. And then what's still, if you're a migrant and you enter like a shop, you sometimes, especially in big cities, going to have the customer service follow you around because they think you're going to shoplift or you're going to steal. So I love the efficient bit, because that is something that I miss when I go back home. But I miss the friendliness, and that's something I find quite irritating. I'm curious to know, what are the things you hate about Germany, or you don't like about Germany, or irritate you about Germany if you do live in Germany? Make sure to join the chat in the comment section. Now we're moving on to number 9. Number 9 is something that I'm very passionate about, something that has affected me myself, and that is the integration challenges. Immigrants and minorities in general have difficulties integrating in the German society. Like I told you, the German people are not very open, so they're not open to new cultures. They're not going to easily let you in and be part of the society. So you're going to have problems finding a job, and then coupled with the language barriers, oh my God, it's a really tough situation. And then we also have expectations and, you know, prejudices and stereotypes where some people think foreigners and minorities should only do casual jobs like clean the bathrooms, you know, wash plates. Although these people are educated, sometimes even more educated than they are, very highly qualified, but you find people stereotyping them, degrading them. That's something that really makes me sad, and also the reason why I started this journey. Integration challenges in Germany are huge, and at the moment they're even worse because we have a wind of people from the right who are also against, having immigrants in Germany, so it's making it even more difficult. And that is something that really gives me sleepless nights, because much as I've been able to integrate, I know there's so many people with migrant background, so many minorities in Germany that really struggle with this and have not been able to find their footing because of such barriers. So that's something that I would say, hate about Germany compared to other European countries. Almost coming to the end of our top 12 things that I hate about Germany. We're going to number 10, the strict rules. I told you, I'll give my favorite example. In Germany, everyone follows rules, and there's rules for everyone, and there's rules for everything, and there are paragraphs and capitals, and that really cement that. And being that I work in a field also that deals with paragraphs and capital and verse vice ish, it's crazy. So for me, my favorite example is like the road traffic. I love how everything works. I love how everything flows. But I remember when I was new here, and even on some days, when you're driving like on the highway and you miss an exit, you should be having enough fuel to be able to drive the next 1 hour until you find the next exit. On a good day, it's a perfect thing. On a bad day, you're like, oh, why can't I even just turn around? Damn, of course, it's not good. It's very dangerous. But in other countries, like, where there's no like strict rules, you can easily maneuver situations, maybe, go on the roundabout, turn around. But in Germany, everything is streamlined. Even when it's not really against the laws, you'll find someone pointing a finger to you and they're like, oh, how come you've parked your tires are not really so straight like they're supposed to be straight? I've had that, for example. Like you're going to the grocery store, you park your car in a hurry, I'm from work, I'm stressed, it's cold. Maybe I've had, some difficult conversations during certain meetings, and then I've parked my car, and maybe the tire is kind of, instead of 90 degrees, it's something like this, and someone comes out of the car, they're like, oh, you've not parked properly. And most of the time I look at them and I'm like, how may I help you? And then they just know they have to shut up. Like, really, why do you have to stress me on a grocery store park plats, what do you call it in English, parking ground, to tell me that my tire is not really straight? Yeah, because everyone follows the rules, everyone is stiff like a stick. Oh my God, I don't like that about German. I really don't. I love the positive bit of it. I love that side of it that protects us. But unnecessary stuff like your tire is not straight, come on, give me a break. And also coupled with the strict rules and all that, Germans are very reluctant to change. So they are not open, they're very rigid, they're very traditional, which can be very boring and routine and cold and distant and difficult for people with migrant background, and even, people that are not so per se traditional or very rigid, people that are flexible. You find it kind of difficult to navigate the German social system, especially considering that they are not flexible, they're very rigid, they're not open to new things, they really take time, they drag their feet. And that is also a challenge and something that I don't like. And my final one is all shops are closed on Sundays. I'm sure you've seen videos about that, you've heard about it, the joke that when you move around in Germany on Sunday, it is a ghost city, like it's dead, you don't see anyone unless you go to the forest. Then you'll meet people because they're taking walks. So Germany is a Catholic country, and they're very strict on Sundays. All shops are closed except for, like the fuel stations. But that means if you forgot to buy something between Monday and Saturday, then you're dumped. If you don't have milk at home, there's nothing like, oh God, I'm going to run to the kiosk and get a bottle of milk. It's not going to happen. And I've also noticed, because I travel a lot, like I've been to other big cities, it makes the country boring, especially if you're a working mom or you're just someone who works during the week. Most people like to shop on Sundays. Maybe you are not able to make it on Saturday because there are people also work on Saturday. And it also gives some buzz, some jazz to the city when the shops are open, knowing that I can go to this cafe, or I can go to the grocery store and do a bit of shopping before I go back to work on Monday. And I totally understand, because I've had this discussion with my kids. We travel quite a lot, and we notice that other cities, for example, are open, on Sunday, the shops. And we looked at the other side, of course, where we're like, who's going to work on Sunday? These people also want to be with their families. I totally get that, but it doesn't change the fact that it's very annoying, very irritating on some days. And especially for us people with migrant backgrounds, I don't know, maybe it's in us because we're used to our countries that on Sundays are open, and then we don't have tight-knit social contacts here in Germany. So I love to be able to decide on a Sunday if maybe I'm going to go grocery shopping or if I'm just going to go shopping. You know, it wouldn't be bad. Like we have maybe once in a month in some town, Verkaufsoffener Sonntag, that's what we call it, but it's very rare, and that's something that I don't like at all. My lovelies, those were my 12 things that I don't like about Germany. But of course, at the end of the day, you have to experience it yourself to know what you like and what you don't like about Germany. Thank you so much for watching, and if you love this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. Let us know in the comment section what your other points could be that you'd like to add. And of course, subscribe and turn on your notification buttons. My loves, I'm here to inspire, uplift, and empower you.